Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I'm Conostep and this is going to be part 27 of my early campaign where I'm playing as the Danes. And before I get on into this episode, I just wanted to make a small announcement regarding this channel and my upload schedule going on into this summer. So I think a lot of you might know already that I do plan on covering Rome Total War for its 20th anniversary, which is going to be happening in September 22nd of this year. And my goals when I do start to cover these games is to get at least 300 hours in game of just practice time before I start uploading. Just so I can get my bearings, basically. I think 300 hours is kind of like the bare necessity, just to kind of like know what you're talking about and kind of know your way around the game. So that is my goal, and although for the last year I have enjoyed a pretty productive upload schedule of, I aimed for 4 videos a week for the last year, and I pretty much just kind of did whatever days off I had. So it's felt good. I really enjoyed that volume. It just was really fun for me. But this last busy season at work was busier than I thought, and then going on into the summer, it hasn't quite dried up like it has in the past. So I'm still working, you know, a decent amount. And yeah, I have to get these hours in somewhere. I'm behind. I need to spend a lot more time in Rome for me to become comfortable with it. So yeah, unfortunately, those hours are going to have to come from somewhere. And I did the math on this, and I double checked this math, so don't bother trying to correct me here. But I decided if I needed to get my 300 hours in before September, I'm going to have to play like 250 hours per week over the next 3 months. So that seems like a lot. And yeah, I don't know how I'm going to accomplish that, but I'm going to do my best here to crack on. So with that being said, yeah, I'm going to get this Danish episode in, and then it's going to be, I'm going to aim for 1 episode a week. 1 episode a week of either the Danish campaign or the Oda campaign. Yeah, it seems so light. I haven't done 1 episode per week since my first year running this channel. It's been so long, and it hurts me. Maybe y'all don't care. Hey, I have some pretty chill folks watching this channel, but for me it kind of hurts. But anyway, that's going to be that. Obviously, I just wanted to say that announcement just to let you know that the reduction in uploads isn't going to reflect like a waning of interest on my part at all. I'm very invested and I'm very interested in what I'm doing here on this channel, and I'm very excited for these campaigns that I'm still playing. So that doesn't reflect a waning of interest. I just have to find that time somewhere to put into Rome Total War. It's actually more fun for me to play the games that I know more. You know, like with Rome, I'm still trying to figure out the basics. It's just like, man, learning a new game is just really something. You know, when you kind of figure out stuff in a game, it feels really fluid, and it just really feels good to kind of jump into even a new campaign and kind of know your way around, even without a whole lot of practice. But yeah, starting a new game and just being like, oh my god, how do I control the camera, or how do I make money? You know, making money is like it's like a new adventure in every game. Every Total War game I've played so far is like, okay, how do I get rich? What's the secret? So yeah, I need to figure that out. I need some time in Rome figuring that out. Okay. And I think that a lot of y'all are gonna be willing to help me out once I start playing Rome as well. I definitely was able to get a lot of advice from folks in my first couple of campaigns, and even my ongoing campaigns for Medieval Total War, which really helped me get up to speed. And yeah, I'm going to be counting on that for Rome. But I want to be able to, you know, be in the same room as y'all. I don't want to just be on the outside being like, yeah, I'm a dummy, I don't know anything. I want to be able to at least speak the same language as y'all when we do talk about Rome and when I do get to that on this channel. Okay, so for this campaign, the last few episodes have been pretty slow on my end. I'm just kind of sitting around stacking cheddar and stacking GA points, and that's going well. The Hungarians are my next closest rival when it comes to GA points, and they have pretty much been wiped out by the Egyptians. Moldavia has gone rebel. I think that's a civil war army. And then same with Croatia. And then the Hungarians are being bought out by the papacy here in Croatia. So that's going to be it for them here on the mainland. And then luckily for them, they took Corsica like a long time ago. Oh, got a cough. Okay. Yeah, they took Corsica a while ago, so they do have, like, they're going to survive, which is kind of funny because looking around, the Italians are also getting pushed off of the peninsula by the Almohads, and although the Italians are trying to flee out of their path by attacking the papacy here in Rome, I don't think that's going to save them, and I think the Italians are going to be left with just Sardinia. So we're going to have the Hungarians on Corsica, the Italians on Sardinia, we're going to have the Sicilians on Malta, we're going to have the Byzantines on Crete and Cyprus, and the Turks, one of these days, might get pushed out and just end up having Rhodes. You know, it'd be funny if we end up with a papacy in Sicily, and we just have all of these factions just like surviving on these island provinces, which is hilarious because they don't, like, a reemergence faction can actually be quite strong, and they can actually be quite disruptive, you know, to the local order, right? I got another cough. Okay, excuse me, man, I got an itch in my throat. But yeah, reemergences can actually be quite disruptive, but having these just like ghosts of factions just hanging out on these islands is a really nice way to just kind of push them aside and just like play around them, basically. So it looks like what we're going to be left with. I mean, Poland, you need to get yourself an island, guys. You need an island, because other than that, you're going to die. I don't know who's going to do the killing. Actually, are you at war with anyone? Well, you can just keep not being at war with anyone and see if that helps you. But right now, the Poles are bordering the Egyptians, the Almohads, me, and the Mongols. They really are just scrunched up between everyone right now. And yeah, we'll see who's hungrier. The Mongols don't seem to want to fight anyone but me, but they can't fight me because I will mash them. And yeah, they just don't seem interested in anything else. They could be fighting, you know, the Poles, the rebels here in Moldavia, or whatever. But it's going to devolve down to basically like 4 superpowers: the Danes, the Mongols, the Egyptians, and the Almohads, which is a really cool map, if you ask me. That's kind of a cool endgame scenario. The Germans are hanging on to their last bastion here in Ile-de-France. And yeah, so that's the one thing, is that we could end up with a German reemergence at some point, because they don't have an island. So they actually, once they die, they're going to die. I have been causing some issues here using my agents against my ally, the Almohads down here in the Iberian Peninsula. Portugal, just being a naturally rebellious province, has been dealing with, are these Christian revolts? Is that what these are? I can't remember. I think it just kind of tells you when it first happens, but I think these might be religious revolts because, well, I don't know. So the Muslim community here in Portugal still outnumbers the Catholics, so maybe it's not from that, but it's definitely from my spy. Yeah, my spy has been causing problems here in Portugal, and that seems to be having an effect on the neighboring provinces as well. Here in Cordoba, taxes are on very low, and the loyalty is at 81%. So Cordoba might be following suit soon. And I thought, so this rebel army currently holds Portugal, and it could starve out this garrison in 4 turns. Now, would the Almohads let that happen? Well, there's a decent stack here in Castile, so I think they can react to this. If they were to move soldiers from Cordoba into Portugal, then I think Cordoba is going to have a rebellion. And that would be interesting to see if that spreads. How's Leon doing? They're okay. Yeah, 156. Yeah, that's right. I don't have any spies here because they have a border fort, so I'm not risking losing spies there. Yes, that's the thing. And same in Granada. But then I do have spies in Castile. Yeah, high taxes, loyalty is 125. And that's another thing is, you know, the provinces that used to be owned by the Spanish, I could potentially cause a Spanish reemergence if I were to get this army to move out of Castile. And then, yeah, watch this loyalty drop. That could be the play. Yeah, bring back the Spanish. You might be wondering, why am I trying to disrupt the Almohads if they are my allies? Well, it's because they look strong, don't they? You know, I have to do something about them. The Egyptians, I'm kind of leaving them alone just because they might be the guys I fight at the end of the campaign. You know, just for practice. You know, you just can't go too long without practicing your fighting skills. Otherwise, you get rusty. So I think I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm not too worried about them in regards to their GA points because, I mean, they are the third highest after the Hungarians, but their goals aren't as profitable as mine. I'm just making more points. So I'm not worried about them in that regard. I'm just worried in the sense that, well, I'm not worried at all. I just want to save them to fight them later. Okay. The main thing though, this is very interesting and problematic. My king has 1 influence, and I double checked this when I was editing my last episode. I think, or maybe I just went back and watched another episode. He had like 5 influence earlier in his life, something like that. So what happened? It's an interesting thing. This is very fascinating because I've talked about this before. There are known ways for faction leaders to gain and lose influence, and they're tied to the gaining or losing of provinces. We know that that's like the main way. We know that betraying an ally will cause you to lose influence. And we know that saving an ally whose armies are under siege in his own province can gain influence. So these are things that we know. In regards to, gosh, I don't know. In regards to diplomacy, I have seen nothing written that confirms that diplomacy has any aspect on influence. But there must be something else, because I've been sitting here on these same territories for, I think, maybe 3 episodes by now, maybe 2 or 3 episodes by now, on these same territories. I think the last episode I had 0 naval engagements, I believe. 0. I don't think a single person fought my navy. I just sat on my butt and made money. And even before that, it was pretty quiet. It was just me dealing with the naval stuff. So not a lot has happened in this man's lifetime. And something else is at work here. It's very, very bizarre. People talk about like the wraparound thing, and I guess I've never talked about it on this channel, but maybe I have. But I guess there is a wraparound bug where if the previous ruler has like an insane amount of stats, like influence, like if it caps out basically, then the next ruler will have like 0. But this can't be that. I mean, none of my rulers have had that good of influence, and he started off with a bit, like 5 or so. I can't quite remember, but it was, it was a chunk. Like it was like the safe amount of influence. So where did this come from? How did he get down to 1? 1 is bad. 1 is a civil war. That's what 1 means. And I think that the only reason why that hasn't happened yet is that I think that this just happened. Maybe this turn. Maybe this just happened. And so far, my generals are not feeling the effect of it, because my generals look okay. Not like super great, but like mostly they're fine. But it makes you wonder, like, these guys are a little worried about, both 5 shield loyalty generals. What's going to happen to them next turn? Then what about here in Sweden? These guys all okay? So he has 5 shields, and I think I had to marry him off to someone. Yeah, I had to marry him to one of my daughters just to get him up to 5. He's another 5 loyalty general. Another 5. So there's like 3 5 loyalty generals in Sweden, which those are the ones I want to keep an eye on, right? And yeah, another 5 loyalty general here in Wessex as well. It's a little problematic. That seems like that's going to happen. Do I have any princesses? I don't think I do. No, 0 princesses. Yeah. So I don't have that way of boosting someone's loyalty to me. I do have spies in every province, so they can be used to frame my generals of treason and therefore get rid of them. When I was doing that earlier in this campaign, it wasn't really that successful. I mean, I was achieving the goal of basically executing those generals for treason, but then like the next guy in the unit that came to command that unit oftentimes had low loyalty as well, so it was like, it's not fixing anything, you know? But I think that might be kind of my only option going into this. This is probably going to be a war. We'll see. But that's what this looks like. This looks like there's going to be a civil war here with a king's influence that low. And just to look at his traits, just to kind of go over these, natural leader, that's a pretty basic one. That +1 loyalty, I believe, is just for him when he was not king. Since it does not indicate +1 loyalty for everyone else, you might think, because of this title called natural leader, that it would be for everyone. But I think it's just for him. I think the +2 morale is for the army that he leads, but I think the loyalty is just for him. The reason why is because if you see a loyalty trait like this, Great Builder says +1 loyalty to all generals. This one doesn't say that. So that's why I think that these are different. But yes, so he is giving this, right? +1 loyalty to all generals because he's a great builder. He's been building a lot of stuff. Most eloquent, that doesn't give anything loyalty-wise. Avarice makes me wonder. It gives him acumen, but there's been minus 40 happiness. But that's provincial. That's provincial happiness. That's not captain or general loyalty. So I don't know if that has anything to do with this. And he's had this trait since he's been a prince, I believe. The only good news is that he's 53, so he could die soon. He does have an heir, Prince Eric. He's married. He's super loyal. So he probably could be sent to somewhere to help prop up. Like, he could be in charge of one of these stacks, for instance. One of these 5. Let's do that. Let's send Prince Eric over to Novgorod. Or not, was that Novgorod? Yes, Novgorod. And let's put you in charge of one of these stacks. That way, if like this stack goes rebel, then at least I'll have a 2v1, right? Up here, if these like 3 stacks go rebel that are 5 of like 3 or 4, I should still win Sweden, I think. And then there would be an issue down here in Wessex because of you. I have an assassin and a spy. That's 2 people that could kill him. So there's options. There's options there. This is my new son. His loyalty is a little worrisome at 4 shields. So yeah, that's he has to be babysit by his dad, basically. He needs to just hang out with his dad and be cool, honey bunny, be cool. Yeah. So secret adultery, that's going to make him lose piety. But that doesn't matter. Because he's not going to be the next king, so it doesn't matter, yeah. Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I think I know what's going to happen. I think we're going to see a war. Let's see, this cardinal can be sent down to Navarre. I'm using these guys to try to just cause some problems. I was going to aim for 10 cardinals in Navarre before moving on and putting cardinals in another province. Just to see if I can cause more issues for the Almohads. And let's see. So Denmark is training chivalric knights. That feels good. Saxony, are you training anything? No, but you're going to be, once you're done with this farmland, you will be building back up to the point where you can also train chivalric knights. Pomerania, you will be used for guns eventually. Prussia did finish its first gun building, so I could train handgunners. So the handgun unit, I don't know if I've talked about these yet, but these are the first tier handgunner that's available to Catholic factions, and they are short range. Well, I'll just read you the thing. Handguns are not accurate or safe and are useless in damp weather, but it is relatively easy to train troops to use them. Even though they are short range, slow missile troops, handgunners are useful if only because of the frightening noise and smoke they produce. The interesting thing about handgunners is that they have decent defense and armor And even their attack is like okay, like they're kind of a decent sword unit that also happens to have a gun. Now that gun can cause fear in other units, but it needs to be able to kill a member in that unit to cause that morale debuff. That's the thing. Like a lot of, well, I think all artillery does the same thing. Like you might want to use, well, I've wanted to use, for instance, ballistas, because I keep trying to make them work. Use a ballista to cause fear, right? Well, it has to kill someone first. It can't just be firing at a unit to cause that fear debuff. It needs to actually hit someone in that unit, and that's the problem. With handgunners, it's quite a bit easier to get that kill. That you just need one kill, right, to cause that fear debuff. It's a bit easier with handgunners, but still, the short range can make things a bit tricky. I think using them on the flanks, basically, to like get a couple volleys in to try to guarantee that you get that kill, and then having a rear charge in on the enemy unit with your, handgunners as they whip out their swords. I think that can be a good way to morale shock that enemy unit with a shot from the handguns, and then also with the morale shock of being rear charged, I think can be a lot to break a lot of enemy units. So I think handgunners can be fun. Now there is a second tier gun unit, the arquebusiers, which is less melee focused, and I don't think they have good armor either, but they have longer range and they have better accuracy. Still though, they're not like the musketeers in Shogun Total War. Neither of these units are. The handgunners and the arquebusiers do not have the same sort of crazy offensive output as the musketeers in Shogun Total War, which really makes me sad. I keep wanting them to work like that, and they just don't. But you can get the Master Gunsmith, which is the third tier gun building, which is available once you get a fortress, and that's going to give Valor to all gun units that are trained from that province. Valor, to my understanding, does increase the accuracy of the ranged units, so I think that what I want to do is wait until that Master Gunsmith is built before I train any guns. And I haven't decided yet if I want to use arquebusiers or handgunners. Maybe both in my armies. I'll see. It's been a while since I have practiced my pike and shot formations. Maybe been like over a year since I've practiced those. So I need to. There's definitely going to be some changes and some experimentation going on here. But for now, I can build the Gunsmith's Guild, which is going to allow me to train the arquebusiers. In addition to that, this is kind of neat as well. So if I do start building artillery here in Prussia as well, then if I combined the Gunsmith's Guild with the Master Foundry, which is the top tier artillery, well, the gunpowder artillery buildings, then I can get a couple specialist artillery pieces like the Serpentine and the Organ gun. And these are both anti-infantry artillery pieces as opposed to the main line of artillery, which is used against fortifications. So the Serpentine would be like a long range, kind of like a sniper gun against anti-personnel, and the organ gun is much shorter range, it's like comically shorter ranged. But when it hits a unit, it just deletes that unit. It's hilarious and it's super fun. Probably not worth it, but like it's worth it just for the fun of it. It's a really cool unit. So yeah, if I get around to it, it'd be fun to try to use those units in a battle. But yeah, that's going to be a little ways off. The fortress takes so long to build, and I have to get this building first, 8 years for the Gunsmith's Guild. So let's get started on that. Lithuania, what are you working on? Nothing. You're just working on farmland. That's cool. Livonia is working on spies and a fortress. That's cool. Novgorod, what do you want? So you are used to train my chivalric sergeants. Yes. So let's get a armorer's guild here for some better armor. Finland. So you do have the demi-culverins built up. You have 4 of them. Okay, well, I want more, but maybe I should get some cogs. I haven't built any yet. And it would be nice just to get some more naval power, just to try to really make sure that no one messes with me on the oceans. You know, I am building caravels here in Sweden, but it'd be nice to get some really nice boats out. Anything else? Anything else? Here. Wales and Scotland are working on getting to the point where they can also build good boats. So once they are up to speed, then I can switch Finland back on over to artillery. But until then. And then the rest of these provinces here in the British Isles are still working on getting their upgraded economy buildings going, which is good. My economy is sitting at 18 grand per turn, and I've almost 300 grand in the treasury, so that feels very, very good. So yeah, let me just double check my province's loyalty. So everyone's looking above 120%, and let me just make sure I'm taxing everyone at the very high rate, because sometimes there's like a natural disaster or an epidemic or something that causes me to lower my taxes, because those events actually do cause a public order hit. It doesn't say it in the message, but it does. You have to look for it, and you will see. So everyone is being taxed very high. That's good on me. And let's keep using my assassins. I'm just honing their blades, you know? I'm just making sure that anytime another faction's emissary or religious agent comes into my territories, I just send an assassin for them and get them out of the way. So here we have an Egyptian alim, which is their religious agent, and I happen to have a 2-star assassin. So let's get rid of him. And then anyone else? Yes, we have another Egyptian emissary here. And I'm leaving the princesses alone just because I could potentially always marry them. Let's see, I have a 4-star assassin, Harold Edmondson. Okay, yeah, you get rid of this emissary for me, please. Then a 1-star assassin, go after the Almohad emissary. And then another 4-star, Halstan Ralphson. Nice. So they will stay there. They're probably going to be used against my own generals in the next turn. We'll see. Okay. I'm actually pretty nervous about hitting end turn here, but I think it's time. Let's drop a save and what's going to happen? I have a little drink of water while I wait and find out the fate of my empire here. If I end up having a civil war, that could really open things up for other factions that are looking to take a piece out of me. And it looks like the AI is really thinking about this turn. They're really trying to figure this one out. There we go. All right, they're starting to figure it out. Now we have started our first religious rebellion here in Navarre, and this is with, I think, 9 cardinals. It's a pretty small rebellion, but it's a sign of things to come. And let's see, I did kill a Polish assassin here in Prussia. And an air matrix. Okay, Prince Olaf. Okay, so this is going to be my 3rd son. And then, yeah, dockyard finish here in Wales and Scotland. And the Pope still wants to be friends. I'm saying no to him just because I might want to kill or take Sicily at some point. Holy shit, a lot of stuff here. This is good. I needed this. Magnificent builder for my king. Plus 2 loyalty. Yep, thank you very much. And yeah, let's see, anything else? Prince Olaf, he is a natural leader and he's also a secret perversion, so that doesn't matter right now. But when it is discovered, that's going to make him lose some piety, which I don't really care about. Natural leader is a good trait. And let's see, are there any starred generals? Prince Sven is... Yeah, he has avarice as well. Plus 2 acumen, minus 40 happiness. I don't know if he's a governor, though. I might have to check on that. And let's just see if there's any of the starred generals here. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's... Okay, that's fine. Are we okay? Is everything okay? What the hell is going on here? So he has 2 influence now. What is going on? What is going on? Okay. So the new son 4 shields of loyalty, which again is like, you know, that's like barely okay. It's barely okay. Let's just look around and see if there's been any dips here in the loyalty of these guys. God, we're looking fine, aren't we? This is so weird. I'm so confused by this. Yeah, that extra builder trait has just boosted these guys just a little bit here. That really helps out. That does. But the fact that there hasn't been a faction-wide hit to influence just feels kind of marvelous. Wow, okay, I'm not gonna relax. I'm not gonna relax. I'm still nervous about this, but you know, hey, we survived another turn, so that is good. And what do we have down here? So it's just a 1-unit rebellion. Yeah, let's see if these Arbalesters can take Navarre against this Gulan bodyguards. Probably not. That'd be kind of funny though, because this is a fortress in Navarre. Holy shit, that's crazy. I think that's one of the only fortresses on the map right now that's not mine. And shit, actually, do I even have any fortresses right now? I finished one in Sweden, didn't I? That's not even a fort. Yeah, that's a citadel in Denmark. Yeah, they have a fortress in Navarre. Wow. That would be hilarious. if this rebellion took Navarre. It's one of the only fortressed provinces. And okay, so the Portuguese, the Almohads took back Portugal. That's interesting. Where did this army come from? Oh, they used their navies. That's what it was. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, they have a decent naval network. Okay. You know, I feel like it happens so rarely that the AI uses its navies to transport troops that when it happens, I'm like, how did this? Impossible. They didn't have troops here. But I checked, and it looks like they did the same thing for Cordoba because they brought some troops here to help settle this down. Yeah, they're sitting on 121 loyalty. Yep. Still, though, I can take a little bit of credit for, they have had to bring those troops down there instead of having them on their front lines. So, hey, I'll pat myself on the back for that. And now, let's see, I'm going to put one more cardinal in Navarre. And then I'm going to switch my focus on over to another province that I have spies in, like Castile. Yeah, and I'll just go down the line. I'll do Castile, and then I'll do Portugal. And I'm not putting spies in the provinces that have border forts. So yeah, just a reminder, if you're wondering why I'm not doing all of the provinces, I'm just avoiding the ones where I think I'll lose my spies, right? And then I have spies here as well in Tyrolia and Switzerland. And then I can't, oh yeah, I forgot to do that in the last turn. Let's get another spy here. Boom, you go, and then you go up to Bavaria. Yeah, there's no border forts there, and I don't think there's any. Oh, there's a border fort in Bohemia. There's nothing in Austria, but I don't really need to mess with the papacy, I feel like. So, yeah, and they have some in Franconia, and they have it in Swabia as well. So that's going to be my last province. It's going to be Bavaria. I'll try to cause issues in that province. And, oh yeah, before I forgot as well that I should continue to try to cause issues. Yeah, the -40 happiness. Well, he's not a governor, but Assassinator is, man, -5 loyalty, and he still has like that much loyalty. Like, what the hell? That's not fair. But I'll keep trying to spy on him, just see if that causes any issues. And then for you as well, it looks like you. I thought that I was working on you already, but keep trying there. You're a 3-star general with 0 traits. That's weird. Well, let's start creating some traits on you. Some bad ones, I hope. And then same with you. None of you are governors, are you? Yeah, none of you are governors. That's annoying. Well, if one of these guys becomes the king, and they have the assassinator trait, and that's going to cause some issues, I think. Yeah. Minus 40 happiness, that could be a big deal. Oh no, someone is attacking me again. Well, it looks like I won the battle. I only lost one boat. The enemy lost 2 boats. Was it the Egyptians again? And yes, the Christians are still causing issues here in Navarre. Good for them. And this is not religious, but yeah, some more peasant rebellions here in Portugal. Farm upgrades I finished here in Wessex, and the Master Horse Breeder. So that's going to be giving my chivalric knights, well, pretty much all cavalry that are trained here in Denmark, +1 valor, which is very, very good. The Hungarians won an alliance. I mean, no, because other than Corsica, the only other province they have here is Genoa, which is surrounded by the Almohads, and I would imagine there's going to be a conflict at some point between the 2 factions. And then treaty canceled. What the hell? God damn it. I literally just like stuck with the Almohads. Wait, this is no longer possible. Yeah, the Almohads broke off their alliance with me because the Egyptians attacked me. So I literally just said I'm sticking with the Almohads because of the Hungarians. Yeah, okay, fine. That's what I get for being loyal to infidels, I guess. Okay. So there's another war between me and the Egyptians. Huzzah. Let's see. Projected income. Looking to make 16 grand? Like still? Are there not that many Egyptian boats in the water? Is that what's going on here? There's not that many, are there? Okay, well, okay. There's no way that economy page is updated. Because with the Straits of Gibraltar cut off, I could not be making 16 grand. Okay, that's funny. That's upgraded. That's updated now. So yeah, losing almost 8 grand a turn. I have over 300,000 in the bank, so that's good. And yeah, there's enough Egyptian boats in the water that this time it just makes sense to, you know, kill all of their boats and really make them pay for it. So let me, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, so we got boats here. So that's the Egyptians. I want to make sure that I'm clicking on the right boats here. What do they have? 1-star Bagala, that's fine. And then I have 2 boats. I have a caravel and a longboat, 1 star. I should win that one. And I just want to make sure because the Egyptian boats, god damn, I keep clicking the wrong. The Egyptian boats sometimes look kind of like papal boats, so I have to make sure that I'm not attacking the papacy. So that is also Egyptian. 2 Bagalas, okay. So I have a 2-star, they have 1-star Bagalas, and then I have 2 2-star caravels. I should be favored in this. They have 2 2 and 2 for their stats. I have 3 3 and 1. As long as I can catch them, as long as they don't try to run from me, I should be favored in that fight. So let's see how that goes. Then let's come down here to the Straits of Gibraltar, and it looks like they have... Okay, this is getting really hard. That's papal, and this is Egyptian. And it's another Bagala, okay. It's just a 2-star, okay, 2-star Bagala, and I have a 1-star, I have 2 longboats. Okay, that's not good enough. That is not good enough. So, let's send in... Yeah, I don't want to send in a longboat. That's not good enough either. Do I have anything in here? Another longboat? Longboats? How about I abandon the Straits of Gibraltar for now? Just because, you know, why lose the boats if I can get out of there? And that's papal, I believe. Yes, it is. That's papal. That's Egyptian. Yeah. So that's a Bagla, 2 stars. I have a 0 star, but I have 2 caravels. I should win that. I feel like I should win that. But a 2-star admiral might change the course of that battle. Let's give that a shot. And then that is papal. Alright, let's go down here to the Straits of Sicily. They have 2 Dows. 3-star admiral, goddamn. Okay. 2 Dows. So this is kind of a tough choice. I have 1 caravel, 2 longboats, 1-star admiral, but those are just Dows. They do not have good stats. So 1, 1, and 3. 1, 1, and 3. It's the same stats. Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's try that. Let's try to go after the Egyptians. And then here, it's going to be the 1 Dow, 0 stars versus my 2 boats. I should win that one. And then we kept the Adriatic because I have 1 boat remaining. I would like to send another boat up there just to reinforce, because that is a very, very important sea region with 5 ports in there. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else? So, if we win all of our naval engagements, the only thing left to deal with will be the Straits of Gibraltar, which is, yeah, obviously very important, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I think my caravels can catch... Caravels have a speed of 1, and Baglas have a speed of 2. Okay, so they could get away. So I should... It's a Bagla... So I should be attacking with my longboat to catch this, because my longboat can catch it with a speed of 3, but I'm not confident that I can win that fight just 1v1. You know, like a good fleet would be a longboat to catch enemy boats, and then 2 caravels or 2 bigger boats to do the killing. That's like a good comp, I think, for naval engagements. Well, I'm working on that. I'm trying to work on getting cogs going here in Finland, and I was gonna wait before I started building caravels in Wales and Scotland. In fact, I was gonna wait until I could get my cogs going, but I may as well get caravels because, yeah, we're gonna need more boats. And everywhere else is... That's fine. I think we should be fine. And how's the king's... He's up to 3. Okay, so he's just building it back up. I'm doing nothing, just sitting here. Like, what is going on? That's so bizarre. Let's see, you can assassinate that Hungarian bishop. And what do I want to build here next in Denmark? What is next? What is next? Guns? Nah. Militia stuff? Nah. Probably just want a fortress. It's probably time for a fortress. That's my thinking. Yeah, fortress time. Now, I did end up sinking one of the boats in the Atlantic, but then I lost both of mine, so that was a tough loss there. I'm causing more issues in Portugal, and the Almohads have the topmost technology in the realm, or in the world. Let's see, I'm catching Almohad assassins in Saxony, okay. Farmland is finished here in Saxony, so now I can finally start working up towards getting chivalric knights going here in Saxony. It's going to be a while. It's a lot of teching up to do. Prince Sven is now ambitious, so that's going to be -1 loyalty, +1 dread. So I'm going to have to check in on him to make sure that his loyalty is okay. And everything else is looking okay. Yep. Alright, so that's still... He's still like... Yeah, he's building back up. It's like 1 influence per turn, just building up again. So what was that dip for, you know? That's so bizarre. Like, homelands, I'm just sitting on the same homelands that I've had for a while, so it's not that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. Okay, and losing money. So losing the same amount of money as I was the last turn. And I think that their boats got away from mine. Yeah, I think the only naval engagement that actually occurred was the one in the Atlantic, which they won. So that was the opposite of good. That was a pretty tragic end turn there regarding. Although, you know, I guess in a way, so like this is actually, so I can get this down now because I feel safer in the sense. So what is he? So 0 stars for this Dow. I have 3 longboats, take them out. They have the same speed as a Dow, so they can probably catch him. And then the Caravel can kill him. I don't mind splitting those boats up, right? And then here, this Bagala, 1 stars versus 2 stars. I should still just keep my boats together here. It's weird that engagement didn't happen if that boat didn't leave the sea region. Unless I was targeted on one of these boats that left. Maybe that's why. Yeah, it's kind of odd. I think so. They have 3 boats in the Ionian, so I should just abandon that. Or what I can do is bring. Reinforcements. If I bring reinforcements, they could gang up and attack. So let's abandon this for now and then return to it with reinforcements. Oh, wow. And the rebels here in Navarre just straight up took this province off the Almohads. Okay, that worked. 2 units of militia sergeants, 1-star general in a fortress. Like, they could actually just hang out to that fortress for a while. Yeah, that feels like I'm doing stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. That kind of, I'm causing issues down here. Yeah, this is also a stronger rebellion. Some Almohad militia, handgunners, a 3-star general. They probably will still lose to this, but, you know, still, this is causing issues. Yeah, that's worth keeping an eye on. Oh, hey, I just got the Kalmar Union scored. Okay, that's interesting. Was this the first year that it was possible for these points to be scored? I wasn't really tracking that. I know that I've had the points for quite a while now. So I just got 15 points off that. That's really good. I thought that my score was already counting that. No. 156. Yeah, that was it? I feel like that's what I already had. And it was counted only once between 1321. It's 1336. So I don't know why. I've had this entire time, so I'm kind of confused as to why it was just now being counted. Is it because were these taken away from me when the Egyptians attacked me? And then I like got them back or something? Yeah, that's a little bit confusing. I guess I'll have to keep an eye on that. Because, yeah, I'm still at war. Although, okay, I'm finally making money now. So I suppose I've cleared the Egyptian boats up a little bit. So that I at least have a route into the Mediterranean. Okay. So at least I have a route through them. So I'm making just like I'm making a little bit of money. Interesting. Okay. And then I also have a son that just came of age. Prince Canute. His loyalty is good. And yeah, acumen's good as well. Materialist +1 acumen. Okay, so that's fine. And now the king is up to 5 influence. So we're back up to like normal again. Oh man, that was nerve-wracking. Yeah, that was weird though. So weird to see that happen. Well, I saw the Poles attack Moldavia, so they were figuring if no one else wants it, they're going to take it. So there's still some fight left in the Poles. Yeah, it looks like they took it as well. Wow, good for them. So 2 turns before Moldavia is completely theirs. Yeah, the Polish armies are not good. And now that they've taken Moldavia, will the Mongols ever attack them? I just don't know. And that is going to be it for the Italians. The Italian Doge has been killed in battle. I think it was the papacy that ended up eliminating him, because I think the papacy invaded, is it Sardinia? So we are catching an assassin, or Almohad assassins here in Saxony still, and papal assassins as well. And we have a daughter on the way. Prince Sven, approachable manner, so plus 10 happiness, plus 1 acumen. I need to check in on him. I keep forgetting to do that. He's the brother of the king, so he's not going to be next in line, but once he is no longer in succession, he could be a potential governor. You know, I keep seeing good traits for him, so I should check in on that. So without further ado, yeah, 4 acumen is solid, isn't it? I thought he had more. Plus 1 acumen, plus 10 happiness. Yeah. Yeah, if I take another province, if I take Sicily, like he could be a governor of Sicily. That could be nice for him. That is, once he is no longer part of the family tree, essentially. My king's getting up there. He's 59, so he's going to be bowing out pretty soon here. And his son, it's not Prince Harold. I sent the heir over here to Novgorod. Yeah, Prince Eric, he is married, so hopefully he does have some sons on the way. Now let's fast forward a few turns here, and here we are, King Christopher I. He's still alive, and look at that. I mean, just at the beginning of this episode, he had 1 influence. Now he's back up to 9, and I've not done anything. All I've done is just sit in my provinces and just kind of stack my money. And remember when I said earlier about the whole wraparound bug with these stats? This is a bit nerve-wracking, right? Because now, with his 9 influence, what does that mean for his next of kin? When Prince Eric becomes the next king, how much influence is he going to have, you know? Now, if it's 1, as his dad had, maybe it's not that big of a deal, considering that this ended up being okay. However, it was a bit confusing, wasn't it? Like, why? I know that I've seen civil wars happen with 1 influence on other factions, kings. My king had a civil war in my Mercian campaign when I had 3 influence, and that was a brand new king. So yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking, but anyway, that's something to keep an eye on, just in case he passes away very soon. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Prince Eric, but in any case, I'm still fighting this naval war against the Egyptians. They're mostly cleared up. They don't have too many boats left. They have a few regions that they are, one of the better regions, the Adriatic. But other than that, like, I'm still, like, my economy is doing okay now. I'm sitting on 288,000 in the treasury, and I'm making some turns I'm making like 11,000, other turns I'm making 8,000. So it's still fine, I would say. It makes me almost wonder, like, maybe now attack the Egyptians instead of spending all of that time getting my boats out of touch of Egyptian provinces, just so I can get that auto ceasefire. Maybe just attack them now. I don't know. I wanted to build up to my late game armies. That's what I wanted. And I've already talked about this, but that's what I'm working on getting going. Novgorod and Lithuania are working on my militia buildings so that I can eventually get my pikemen being trained there. And then I've already talked about my guns here in Pomerania and Prussia. And then my chivalric knights here in Denmark and Saxony. So that's what I want to work up to. I would like to show off those armies before this campaign is over. So it would be a shame just to kind of rush into a war that I would rather fight later on, to be honest. So I'm going to have to consider, like, is it going to be really worth withdrawing my boats from the Egyptian sea regions when I could just kind of stay here and keep making 8 grand, which is fine, isn't it? It would be even more with the Adriatic, just because I would have a couple more provinces. I mean, heck, the only province in the Adriatic that is owned by the Egyptians is Croatia. So, I mean, sorry, Serbia. I always get those two mixed up. You can see how much I know about geography, but You know, it almost makes you think like, hey, let's just clear up Egyptian boats and just keep on doing that for the rest of until I'm ready to attack. I guess, you know. I don't know, like why not? So I'm continuing this. No, this is funny. So those rebels in Navarre, that they've taken Navarre, and now they're training units in Navarre. They have handgunners, they have archers, they still have the 2 militia sergeants that took the province in the first place, and the Almohads are just like, what are we gonna do about it? You know, so it's just kind of, that's pretty funny. Not that it was the most valuable province to the Almohads, but now they still need to like make sure that they border it. You know, they need to keep armies here just in case. You know, the rebels want to attack. Yeah, that's kind of a funny thing that happened. And they still have not removed the Germans from Ile-de-France. That is really something. Yeah, that is some. It's interesting to see how restrained the Almohads play compared to the French. You know, when the French are in this region of the world, man, they just attack everyone. You know, and the Almohads are playing a very restrained campaign. You know, they've taken out the Italians. Who are they even at war with right now? Just the Germans? No one. No, they got a peace treaty with the Germans. My goodness. Wow. I wonder if that's because of the rebellions in their back provinces caused by yours truly. Yeah, that's huh. Yeah, that's curious. Also, the Egyptians as well. It's just me that they're at war with. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a pretty peaceful episode overall, you know, other than the naval conflicts, but this showdown between, it's funny, it's like the 4 most passive superpowers you could imagine. The Mongols, the Danes, the Egyptians, and the Almohads, just really playing passively with the papacy kind of stuck between all 4. Okay, here we go. This is it. So the king of the Danes has died of an illness, and this is going to be a chance for King Eric. Gotta see how his influence is. I'm really apprehensive to find out what's going to happen here. Okay, the King of Sicily has died as well. The baronial court has been finished here in Saxony. Now, the only thing that Saxony needs is an armorer's guild, and then they will also be able to train chivalric knights. Let's see, the Pope still wants an alliance, and I still say no. And is there anything of significance in this? Materialist and 2-star general. Charitable. Okay, so no, nothing. Okay. Okay, how are you doing? 5 influence. That's okay, isn't it? Yeah, that is okay. 4 acumen is okay. I think that's 1 less than his father. How is we're making 11,000. That's fine, isn't it? That's 11,000 that we're making, and that's without trade to Egypt. You know, that's fine. I will take that. Yeah, and I think have I cleaned up all of their ships as well? I think I've finally cleaned up their ships. Yeah, awesome. So now let's just keep it this way. You know, I'm getting cogs built here in Finland, and they can really keep the seas safe for me. It is taking 4 turns to build them. Actually, I can get them. I need to get them here in Wessex. Wessex can build cogs with +1 valor. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to switch over to that. But that's fine. I can sit on that, you know, 11,000 and just keep sinking Egyptian boats until I'm ready to invade them. Like, why? That actually feels pretty clean, actually. Because typically when you plan to invade someone using your navy, it can take maybe a decade to clear their boats out of the water if they keep running from you and if you're not fully set up with enough, you know, big fleets in the oceans to kind of like hunt everything down. It can kind of take a while to clear up that sea lane to invade the provinces that you plan on invading. So yeah, just having like this ongoing war with the Egyptians, if my economy can handle it, and then just, yeah, keep the seas open, and when I'm ready to go in, I can go in. That feels okay. Typically, I like to keep it completely, you know, peaceful just for the extra money, but since this is fine, yeah, let's just do this then. Yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit. And King Eric looks like he's going to be okay. Does he have any sons? No. He just has the one brother. I thought there was Prince Olaf as well. What happened? Prince Canute. What happened to Prince Olaf? What in the... I don't... What? I'm trying to... Yeah, I don't... I have no... No idea what happened. I could have sworn I had a prince. I had another heir. Huh. That is really bizarre. Yeah, I will have to... No Prince Olaf. I'm not just making that up, right? Prince Canute. Well, I mean, he's still young. And I can get him married just to kind of, you know, make sure things are good. But there's no sons on the way. No, these princesses, I believe, I think they're all daughters of the last king, actually. Yeah, I think he was producing children up until he was fairly old. So yeah, I think that these are all going to be aunties to the current king. And he's 32, no children. Okay, well, you're married, so get to it, bud. Get to it. Okay, well, you know what? That is all gonna have to wait until next time, though. I think that's been a pretty nice episode there. I feel pretty good about the way things are going, and I'm happy to see that my new king has favorable influence. And you know, like as I keep saying, I'm gonna get this late game army going eventually. It's the year 1342, so we have roughly like what 110 turns left in this campaign. So I think that is going to be plenty of time for me to get my late game armies going and then have a bit of a rumble in Egypt. But you know what? That's all going to have to wait till next time. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Concept playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.